I'm Joshua Lapley, CDOT's Chief Engineer. Every year, CDOT, counties, cities, and community partners are active in construction projects all across the state. And those projects vary from very small projects to mega complex projects with hundreds of workers in the work zone. And traffic control is so critical to saving lives and making people's lives better, which is CDOT's ultimate goal. That traffic control is going to move the traveling public through a work zone with workers that need to be protected and kept safe. And that's really the plan to do that. And the traffic control supervisors are the ones that are leading this effort. They're the ones that are planning the traffic control, the tapers, the lane closures, everything we need to do to follow those standards and best practices to make sure people make it through safe and our workers stay safe. And then the next step in that, and really the first line of defense for all of those workers in the work zone, is the flagger. It's really easy to become complacent as a flagger because you're out there for many hours and it is a bit repetitive, but it's that first line of defense that lets the driver know, hey, this is an active work zone and you need to be paying attention to the environment you're in to make sure you're safe and you're watching out for workers and keeping them safe. The traffic control supervisors work hand in hand with those flaggers to make sure that we make adjustments on the fly too. Every work zone is different, and so those traffic control plans need to be flexible as well because driver behavior will change and we need to adjust to that to make sure that we're keeping everyone safe. And flaggers need to stay alert and follow those requirements and everything that you've learned in your training. That's really critical to hitting all those key points. And so when you're in the field and you see these things that you think you can make adjustments, absolutely talk to your traffic control supervisor, work with them to see if we can make adjustments to traffic control to keep the public safe and to keep all of our workers and contractors safe that are in that work zone. Ultimately, thank you for all of your work and all of the things you do to help CDOT and our contractors and the traveling public do their work safely and move through our work zones safely.
Welcome. You are watching the Colorado Department of Transportation Flagger video. We have designed this video as an aid to the Flagger Manual and Reference Guide. We are glad that you have chosen to work in this high-demand field, and we hope you are ready for an exciting time as a flagger. It can be a fun and rewarding job, however serious. You must be equipped with common sense and drive for attention to detail, as it is dangerous and you are responsible for the lives of many, not just your own. As a certified flagger working in the state of Colorado, you will play a vital role in helping to protect the traveling public and your coworkers from the dangers that are presented on a construction or maintenance project. All flaggers must be certified. The certification process involves study of the training manual, a written proficiency test, and a hands-on demonstration. In general, flaggers are needed whenever the safety of the working crew or the motoring public is a question. Safety questions arise whenever a traffic lane is going to be blocked, whenever an area is congested and equipment is going to be moved in or out of the project. This being a general rule, keep in mind each job will have different demands and perhaps different duties. Each project will have a superintendent who is an employee of the contractor. The superintendent is responsible for all work on the project. The traffic control supervisor reports to the super, and you, the flagger, will be a direct report to the TCS. A TCS will be able to help in any traffic or safety situation and be able to answer any question you may have. Remember, as a flagger, you should always ask questions when you are unsure. In addition, CDOT staff may include the resident engineer, the project engineer, and the inspector, who will monitor the quality of the work being performed in all areas of the project. It is the employer's responsibility to ensure that the flagger meets the minimum qualifications as outlined in the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices. Because flaggers are responsible for public safety and make the greatest number of contacts with the public of all highway workers, they should be trained in safe traffic control practices and public contact techniques. Flaggers should be able to satisfactorily demonstrate the following abilities: Ability to receive and communicate specific instructions clearly, firmly, and courteously. You will need to have a good working knowledge of normal traffic laws and regulations, as well as the more technical duties you must know as a flagger. You must know about the situation you are working in. You may be the only link the traveling public has with the work zone. You must be able to answer questions intelligently when asked, and you should know what kind of work is being done. You must always see yourself as a public relations person while at your station. Remember, a smile and a polite answer will go a long way in making the public more comfortable and less frustrated. Be polite, brief, and firm in your explanation. You have the authority to control and regulate traffic around and through work zones. Ability to move and maneuver quickly in order to avoid danger from errant vehicles. As a flagger, you are the first line of defense and are responsible for protecting yourself and your coworkers from traffic that is near the roadwork area. If a careless or erratic driver does not obey your commands, such as refusal to slow or stop, try to get the license number of the vehicle or a description of the vehicle and/or driver. Report this to your supervisor. Remember, you are not a police officer. It is important, and it is your responsibility, to remain at the flagging station at all times. Establish breaks with your TCS prior to your shift to ensure adequate coverage at all times. Ability to control signaling devices in order to provide clear and positive guidance to drivers approaching a temporary traffic control zone in frequently changing situations. You should be aware of all the flagging techniques and be able to use them on your job. This includes not only the actual flagging movements, but also equipment you will be using, such as different signs and traffic control devices. Ability to understand and apply safe traffic control practices, sometimes in stressful or emergency situations. Be aware that emergency vehicles may have to pass through the work zone. They do not have automatic passage through the work zone. However, provide access as soon as possible. Alert your coworkers to the passing of emergency vehicles. The ability to recognize dangerous traffic situations and warn workers in sufficient time to avoid injury. Be aware of weather conditions like heavy rain, snow, or fog. Bad weather may shut down the project. However, frequently, traffic control must remain in place. You must know how to perform your job duties under any weather condition. You must also know the traffic conditions. You may be on a high-speed, busy freeway, or on a moderate-speed byway or a city street. The speed and volume, as well as the type of roadway, may very well make a huge difference in your job. Your flagging station position is important for a number of reasons. You must be knowledgeable about the required stopping sight distances. You must be positioned so that you are clearly visible to oncoming traffic and have an escape route. You must be stationed far enough ahead of the worksite so that cars and even heavily loaded trucks can slow down enough to stop. You must be close enough to the work being done to protect your fellow workers. Do not stand behind an object, just over the crest of a hill, just around the curve of a road, or next to a parked car. All personal vehicles should be parked 200 feet away and out of the right-of-way. Visibility is limited if you're next to anything that limits safety and mobility practice. There are actions that prevent you from properly performing your responsibilities. Examples are mingling with the crew, relaxing, sitting down, listening to music, using a mobile device, or smoking while on duty. These actions make you less visible and less able to perform your role as a traffic and safety monitor. Nighttime flagging can be very dangerous if not done properly. However, you can assure safe operations for you and your crew if you follow standards. Always wear a retroreflectorized hard hat and apparel to help make you as visible as possible. Always use illuminated tools such as flashlights, lighted wands, and retroreflectorized paddles and signs. Your flagging stations shall be lighted for night operations. You are constantly exposed to dangers from the work activities, as well as from erratic or careless drivers. You may and will have to use your own judgment very quickly. Remember, always have an escape route. As a flagger, you will need to know where to stand to flag, the kinds of signs and devices to use, and information and instructions regarding the traffic situation. If you need help in a certain kind of situation, ask your TCS. There are 4 types of signs a flagger should know about. They are regulatory, warning, guide, and construction warning signs. Each type of sign has a different purpose and function. Each category of signs has a certain color and shape scheme so that they are easily recognized. Regulatory signs impose legal obligations and restrictions on all traffic. Examples include speed limit signs, stop signs, and do not enter signs. Most regulatory signs carry a black legend and border on a white background. Stop and yield signs are octagonal or triangular in shape with white letters on a red background. You should be familiar with the regulatory signs as they do carry the full weight of the law. Please note, flaggers are not police officers. Only a police officer can override an existing regulatory device, such as a stop sign or a red light. Warning signs notify the driver of traffic ahead. The motoring public should adhere to these signs. Warning signs are black letters on a yellow background with a black border. Guide signs are information signs. They give the motorist destination information. Many guide signs are white letters and border on a green background. These signs also indicate directions and route markings. Construction warning signs used for construction and maintenance projects notify drivers of construction dangers or hazards. Construction warning signs are generally, but not always, diamond-shaped and carry a black legend and border on an orange background. Some examples include roadwork ahead, flagger ahead, right lane closed, road closed ahead, and detour ahead. These signs may give special information relating to the work being performed. These signs may also indicate directions and route markings. There are many types of traffic control devices used in highway construction and maintenance work zone operations. Cones are the most frequently used traffic control device. They are lightweight and easy to move and very visible to the traveling public. Cones are bright orange and are 18, 28, and 36 inches tall. They are typically 36 inches on high-speed roadways. 36 inches is a requirement for CDOT projects. Cones can be blown down or knocked over due to natural wind or wind generated from passing traffic. Never leave your flagging station to reset devices. Inform the TCS of the situation. Drums are very effective devices for controlling traffic. They are much larger and much more visible to the traveling public. They are very effective in blocking areas where the crew is working. Drums are used in lane closures for long-term projects. Vertical panels are also an effective traffic control device. They are vertical, rectangular panels with downward diagonal stripes indicating the open lane. Vertical panels or drums must be used in the taper on state highways. There are 3 types of barricades used on construction projects. Type 1 barricades are portable and have a single horizontal retroreflectorized rail. They are used on low-speed, conventional roads and urban streets. Type 2 are less portable than Type 1 and have 2 horizontal retroreflectorized rails. These are used on higher-speed roads. Type 3 are for extended road closures and have 3 horizontal retroreflectorized rails. Direction indicator barricades include an arrow and are used in tapers, transitions, and other areas where specific direction guidance to drivers is necessary. Again, the slanted stripes and arrow indicate the open lane. The piece of equipment that you will use to control traffic is the stop-slow paddle. The paddle is mounted on a 5-foot staff for convenience. The paddle shall be maintained at a height to be visible to oncoming traffic. One side of the paddle will be the stop sign. It is octagon-shaped and has white letters on a red background. The other side of the paddle is the slow sign. It has black letters on an orange background in a simulated diamond. Both sides shall be retroreflective. When flagging at night, you may use a flashlight with a red lighted cone on the end. The lighted part of the flashlight should be red and at least 6 inches in length. You may also use a lighted wand to use for nighttime operations. Lighted wands are generally 30 inches in length. There are several tools used to improve safety. These include radios, air horns, or whistles. These may be issued to you to alert the work crew of danger. Radios aid in flagging situations where one part or end of the roadwork cannot be seen by the flagger or flaggers. As worker safety is a priority, AFADs were created to allow a flagger to remotely control traffic while remaining safely outside the travel path. These devices are not autonomous and require a certified flagger to operate. You must be properly trained before operating an AFAD in the field. You must dress appropriately for the job. This is for safety and visibility reasons, and for overall consistency so that your authority is not questioned. Visibility is of very high importance, both day and night. If traffic cannot see you, they will pose a hazard to you and the work crew. Wearing the proper high visibility apparel helps with standardization and will help identify you as a flagger and your responsibility to safety. All flaggers shall wear safety apparel meeting the requirements of the ISEA American National Standard for High Visibility Apparel, and labeled as meeting the current ANSI 107 standard performance for Class 3 apparel risk exposure. Background materials shall be fluorescent orange-red, fluorescent red, or fluorescent yellow-green, and have retroreflective material to provide the wearer greater visibility to the traveling public. This clothing is required by law. Anytime that you are acting as a flagger, you must wear safety apparel that meets ISEA and ANSI standards. The apparel increases your visibility. It is part of the recognized standard uniform for flaggers and is required by CDOT. Hard hats are mandatory and required by CDOT. Hard hats shall be fluorescent orange-red or fluorescent yellow-green and include retroreflectorized material. The hard hat also protects your head from flying debris and other dangers. It is also part of the recognized uniform for flaggers. You should always wear work boots that cover your ankle. They will help protect your feet from hot surfaces, uneven surfaces, and will help keep your footing around construction equipment. There are other items you may want to have with you. You may need a dust mask, hearing protection, gloves, a windbreaker, sunscreen, retroreflectorized rain gear, and any other items that help combat the elements. Pack a bag with these items to keep at your station. Remember, always dress so that you are visible, safe, and comfortable, and always wear the mandatory apparel and hard hat. The 3 basic functions of flagging are stopping traffic, releasing traffic that has been stopped, and slowing traffic. Each function is performed differently. To stop traffic, make sure the paddle is held straight up and not leaning. Only wave the paddle to communicate with other flaggers. Make sure the stop sign is directly facing traffic. The free arm shall be held with the palm of the hand above shoulder level towards approaching traffic. It is very important to catch the eye of the driver. After the first vehicle has stopped, move to a clearly visible position near the center of the roadway or to the left of the stopped vehicle. Do not touch the stopped vehicle. Do not cross the center line. To release traffic. When it is safe to release stopped traffic, move to the right of traffic and stand facing the traffic flow. Then turn the paddle to slow and with deliberate arm movements, motion for traffic to proceed. To slow traffic. Face traffic with the slow side of the paddle facing traffic. You can emphasize your position by using your free arm, slowly raising and lowering it towards the ground with your palm down. Make sure your flagging station is lighted and your tools are properly retroreflectorized. To stop traffic, make sure the paddle is held straight up and not leaning. Do not wave the paddle. Make sure the stop sign is directly facing traffic. You may use your free hand as discussed before or use a flashlight or lighted wand to stop traffic. To release traffic, lower your light and use a slow sweeping motion to allow traffic to proceed. The slow side of the paddle should be visible to traffic. To slow traffic, standing in your lighted flagging station, use the slow side of the paddle facing traffic. Swing your light across your body with a slow motion. Up and down means the other person or flagger stops traffic. This can be a question or statement. Back and forth means the other person or flagger releases traffic. This can also be a question or statement. If you cannot stop or release, or it is not clear to send traffic, answer in the same manner as the other flagger. Always have an answer. The other flagger needs to know that you saw their communication. Default is always on stop. The TCS has the authority to change the signals for the duration of the project, however, must implement a signaling system. You are responsible for guiding the motoring public efficiently through or around a work zone, protecting the lives of yourself and your fellow workers, and protecting the public from the potential dangers present in the work zone. Remain alert at all times. Always wear the proper equipment and apparel to do the job safely and correctly. Acquaint yourself at the start of the shift to current operations and activities. Treat each driver as if they were the first driver you have faced all day. Be extra careful when flagging at night. Become familiar with all equipment and tools you may use during the time you are at your flagging station. Stay at your flagging station until you are properly relieved. Remember, remain as visible as possible. You are the main link between the public and the work zone. Present yourself as a public relations person for the motoring public. Remember, safety doesn't happen by accident.